is like, it's not, just this isolated incident whether Trudeau need to apologize or not apologize. In fact, they are not just talking about these things in general. So we're going to skip the question 3, which is Trudeau apologize demand from the protest is justifiable? We're going to go on to the bigger question because we have 2 gentlemen, they have to leave at 5 o'clock. So unless there's any objection, I guess not. So I'm going to move on to the next question, which is like, given the situation, you see the protests, start from 30 to 40 people, one city, cross, and on the second one is cross Canada, about 500 people, 600 people, I can't remember. So it's quite a large number of people in cross Canada. So this really actually an issue going on. So by and large, I think essentially in the communities, there's a lot of people doesn't feel warm and invested in what's going on. So in particular, as a result, people talk about M103, people talk about Omar Carter, people talk about the ISIS, Canadian, they returned to Canada just recently. All these add up a pile of things. So the question that I have on the table right now is Canadian being Islamophobic? Are we, sort of scared of a Muslim? Or is our Islamic policy need some revisit? So I'm going to pass the mic to Michael.
Did I start? Okay. Well, if we follow the mainstream news, we should be able to see that according to police, as we can, I just remind that some of the protesters speak highly about Toronto police. The police has done a very good job in identifying that particular case as not happening. So they applaud the police. And the Toronto police also made another conclusion apart from that things not happen. The Toronto police saying that they are not going to pursue further regarding this 11-year-old girl, which is a statement. And as a law-abiding citizen, we should acknowledge the professionalism of Toronto police. They say, for whatever reason, that they are not going to pursue or charge or press charge or doing anything against that 11-year girl. And we should follow that. We should acknowledge that. And police also says that the hate crimes has been on the rise for the past 2 years. And especially hate crime against Islamic people are on the rise. So when we talk about war really exists. Just 1 year ago, in January 29th, there was a shooting in Quebec City, as everybody knows. The shooting killed 6 people. By the way, the shooting was random. The shooter just shoots randomly at the mosque, at the people who practice their religious, and then injured 19 people, I think. So that is a serious incident. So I would think that Islamic phobia do exist. Somebody might ask, why some of the people in this society is more equal, they are saying, than the others? Why are we as this society or as government play favoritism to certain group of people? I would say that I agree with that policy, or I agree with that attitude, because Muslim people right now are under attack among the communities. It's more serious than the others. Even in our Chinese, if you go through the internet, if you go through the WeChat or something, you can see a lot of words are actually attacking the Muslims. So we're talking about Islamic phobia. Is there a xenophobia? That is that is a fear or hate against Chinese? There were. I would say, yeah, it happened before. So that is how I'm going to introduce you another picture of mine. This happened in 1907 in the city of Vancouver. A lot of white people, or I shouldn't say race, a lot of people, majority of the community at that time, attacking Chinese. They went to Chinatown, they break all those stores and beating people like that. That is a really, really xenophobia. At that time, I really hope that the Canadian government would make a motion saying that we make a statement that xenophobia is not a right thing and we should unite together to fight against xenophobia. Unfortunately, that was a time when the whole country was thinking about white supremacy. The whole country was thinking that, okay, we need a country of white people. We don't like any other ethnic community. That things only changed in 1970s when multiculturalism was introduced. So when we say we want racial harmony, we want everybody equal, that is right. But when someone is being attacked, some minority group is being attacked, we should correct that. When there is a mood in the society to discriminate a certain group, we should identify it and we should criticize that. We should make a statement saying that this is not right, this is not Canadian. So that is why when in 1907, when we say xenophobia is not right, that I hope that time there would be one politician saying that. Unfortunately, no. So at this time, when there's another minority being discriminated, I think it's right to say right and clearly, it is not right to hate any ethnic minority, including Muslims.
Wow, very powerful. So he come prepared. So Ben, do you agree? We should put in the Islamophobic in all the legislation, and will that become a serial law?
Actually, I say the Constitution is our Constitution. And if we compare something happened 100 years ago and today, why we have Islamophobic? Because we fear get attacked. Those days, we can attack. It's the people here say, those are lower level dark people, we can attack them. We hit them, we do whatever we like, nobody will punish us. Right now, a lot of people in this country, they fear because they worry they're being attacked. It's not they can attack. So it's totally different. So when we are still promoting certain culture, certain people, federal policy still think that's correct, and some other people will think, why? Is that people feel I'm being hated. My voice is loud, then I can achieve what I want. And that is accumulating all these hate year by year. So people just now comes out like a boiling pot, comes out. So if we are totally really promote harmony, education, and also full disclosure, and understanding each culture is very important. And according to the survey, the Islamic come to this country, they come here to change our system. They are not come here try to live with our system. When they come to our country, they think they should maintain all their habits, all their system, all what they want day-to-day life, and they want to maintain it. They want the Canadian to accept it. They want the Canadian to take them as part of their day-to-day life. They want them being part of it. So that's why some people feel like that, but of course, not necessary. All people believe like this. It's only a few, but of those few people that people fear, so that's why. Thank you.
We have a gentleman volunteer to speak.
I came to Canada 47 years ago, and this is the first time I make a public speech. I know all this guy here, Mr. Wong, my good friend. I'm here, as I said, 47 years. And when I was in University of Toronto, one time I got chased by a Canadian youngster. Ching. So, what did I do? Because in those days, you go to the police, they're all white. Okay. If you notice, against a Muslim thing, it's only when President United States making waves in all over the world against the Muslim. Because they make a terror, then they can invest in military, and they can make more money, okay? The China thing was bully at those times, because in Chinese saying, 越右强食. 现在 China is so powerful, the USA can only bully the Arabic countries. They don't dare to bully China because China is connected worldwide, connected with European country. So what I'm saying is, in Chinese saying, it has been there forever, and it's better 大事 make 小，小事 make 没有。The big thing makes smaller, and the smaller make smaller. We cannot, expand the small thing to big thing, and it's not nice in that way,
Got it. So thank you, Kenyon. He only, as much as he only say Mr. Wang is his friend, so I'm also his friend. Okay. So Willie, you have any comment before I pass the? Okay.
Yeah, my comment about this issue is, I think you will notice that a lot of things are happening around across Canada, and some Muslim groups want to change a lot of Canadian values, especially in our we Filipino Canadians mostly we're 85-95% are practicing Catholics. Now, before we can recite Our Father in the schools, and some groups are saying they feel offended if the Our Father or the Ten Commandments are being held in the school grounds. I think we have to educate them that this is Canada, and they have to respect our culture and the Canadian values, and not us giving up to them. Because if you go to their country, they whatever is their rules and regulations, especially about their culture, you have to follow. No exception. But here in Canada, even in Australia, anywhere around the world, they want to change a lot of things for them to be accepted. And they want, if they want something, they're very aggressive in the sense that their community leaders, especially now that they have this, some political leaders here, we have MPs or are practicing Islamic religion. I think they should follow and respect the Canadian values, and especially the Christian values of Canada. Thank you.
So we really talk about integration, which is a very good topic as opposed to Canadian mosaic. But I want to ask Billy. So actually, in Peel Region, there's a couple last year, I believe, when there's a protest, they did have somebody actually burn the Quran. But if you know that the Quran is very important to Muslim, So like, you can burn a Bible, nobody say too much, right? But you burn a Quran, let's take the life. So not to mention, we talk about 6 people randomly being shot. So actually, there's a lot of hatred, or I would say, I don't know whether it's Islamophobic. So how do you deal with this issue, And then, do you think that it's Islamophobic, or at the same time, do you think there's some Islamic policy that we need to change?
Okay. So whatever phobic is a big word, right? If Canadian were seen as Islamophobic, then we would also see veteran phobic because they ask too much. Or black phobic, Asian phobic, family phobic, life phobic, man phobic, women phobic, whatever phobic. I have the report here, hate crime reported in 2014, 15, and 16. Right? Yes, there is a hate crime report rise from 2014 to 2016 from 1,300 to 1,400. There's 100 cases reported, okay, not investigated, but reported. Comparatively, the highest score was black people. The second are Asian, and then the Jewish, and then the Muslim, right? So according to religion, Jewish people were the highly being reported hate crime. So comparatively, there may be a Jewish phobic law first before the... What I mean? So what we are talking about is about fairness. When talking about fair, we know that when we pay more to, some people think that the Canadian is Canadian Islamophobic. We know that when there are different races or different cultures living in the same area, there are always some indifferences over there. A policy or a law is a road or a direction, not necessarily a line, right? So it all depends on different time, different condition that the politicians, how to practice the law. And we have the human rights law, we have the constitution, and we have different laws. We need to trust our governments instead of putting instead of putting certain people group, they don't being protected. Say for example, the Jewish people, we don't have any Jewish phobic motion or laws to protect them from being hated or being hurt by hate crimes. So therefore, I think since we have a very inclusive constitution already, we don't need another law to emphasize on some specific group of people, no matter who they are. Because when we read our constitution and we read our human rights, it is all included with all religion, all race, all ethnic group. They're inclusive already. So we not necessarily need to highlight certain people group that make people think that certain people are being undermined and certain people have certain advantages. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we before we close to the question 5, I believe there's a gentleman over there. He wants to speak up, and he's going to be speaking in Mandarin. I'm going to do the translation.
为了保证我的发言不造成一些误会，我只能用我的母语来说。